Hi guys, and welcome back to Reed's Readers with your host, Clinton Reed. And today I want to bring to you a tag that I've been seeing going around Booktube that kind of made me very excited. I know I haven't been on Booktube long, but I've read a lot of books this year. I honestly think I've lost count. According to my papers over there, I've read roughly 40-ish books, and I think I've DNF'd 3 books. But I thought I would do the mid-year book tag freakout. That way I can talk about some books and some authors I've read this year that you haven't gotten to know, that I love, and I feel like they deserve the time and energy for me to do this. And plus, thought it'd be cool, maybe next year I'll do it at the same time and see what the answers will be. And it's Gay Pride weekend, so this is how I'm going to celebrate Pride since I work all weekends. Now let's get into this tag. Oh, and I will link down the original person's tag. I don't remember her name, but I have seen tons of booktubers doing this tag, so thought it'd be fun. Now let's get into these questions. Book one. My bad, I can't even speak today. Question 1. The best book you've read so far this year. Now, if y'all been on my channel, you've seen my most recent book chat about my all-time favorite movie. Now, book. It's also been a movie, so take those off. No surprise, my favorite book of the year so far is The Outsiders. Screw it. That one's just being weird. The Outsiders by Effie Hinton is my favorite book I've read this year, and I can't wait to reread it over and over and over and over again with every edition I get. Just saying, I want them all. I need the British cover, I need the 50th anniversary, I need the 40th anniversary, whatever. I will link my book chat down below. Don't really want to go into too much detail about why this book is like my all-time favorite book. But if you haven't read it, read it. And remember, stay gold, pony boy. I may leave that one out because that one's just that glare. We'll use this copy. That glare, for some reason, is just not our friend today. Okay, the best sequel I have read this year. Now, the one that I'm going to talk to you about is a companion sequel to a poetry series that this author is writing. The Women, I don't remember what the poetry book series is called, The Women something. The Women are some kind of magic series. I read The Witch Doesn't Burn in this one by Amanda Lovelace. Now, when I first heard about this book, I was like, ooh, it's going to be about witches. But no, if you love a good poetry book or a good modern day poetry, which I didn't think I would like modern poetry, Amanda Lovelace has blown me away. This book had me crying, had me laughing, had me gagging for more. And when I mean gagging, I was sitting on the floor going, I need the next one. Oh my God. Anything by Amanda Lovelace I'm buying. Just saying. Question number 3. New releases you haven't read yet, but want to. Now, I have 2 on this list. Now, please don't hurt me for the first one, guys. I haven't gotten to it yet, and that is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Basically, African Harry Potter. follows Zali Adibola. I am so going to have to look up how to pronounce these names before I read it. Hopefully I can read it next month if I can get to it. I've been kind of in a reading slump lately, but I've got a few, like the book I'm reading right now is kind of pulling me in. So let's see if that helps me get out of my funk. And the other one is a sequel that I hope to get to at least next month, and that's Legendary, the sequel to Caraval. I pre-ordered it in enough time that I got a signed bookplate from the author. Yes, God. Basically, sequel to Caraval following the other sister. And everyone knows, if you've been on this channel watching my videos, Caraval is hard as hell to explain. It's an amazing book. But seriously, Stephanie, it is one of the hardest books to explain. Girl. Just saying. Just gonna set this right here. Okay. Most anticipated book for the second half of the year. Now, I technically have 3 for this. What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera, 2 of my automatic auto-buy authors that everyone knows. If everyone, I'm looking forward to it. I am also looking forward to the sequel to the House of Night Otherworld series, Loved. I'm looking forward to Lost by PC Cast and Kristen Cast, which comes out next month on July 10th. Plus, I'm looking forward to, okay, I'm sorry, this is like the greatest thing in the world. I'm looking forward to Hocus Pocus and the all-new sequel by A.J. Jaffa? A something thing Jaffa. Can't remember the exact author. But that book is going to be like, it's supposed to be like that, like it's supposed to be like a 500 and something page book where you literally read the entire movie and then you go into their kids. Let's just say everyone knows, anyone who knows me knows Hocus Pocus is one of my all-time favorite movies. I watch it religiously almost every month. That meant there is a goddess. I have performed as her in drag multiple times. Listen, just saying. But those are my anticipated years. Okay, now, the next one is your biggest disappointment. Now, I DNF'd this book on principle. I gave the first one in this series a 5 out of 5 stars. So I was so anticipating the series because I just wanted to read more by her. And the book I'm going to be disappointed, the book that disappointed me earlier this year, which I DNF'd after I think 100 and something pages, is Valiant by Holly Black. Now, I gave Tithe 5 out of 5 stars and loved it. But Valiant, let's talk about the 2 major issues that I have about this. This book is labeled, a YA book, but it's also been labeled as a middle grade novel. Thing that pisses me off is, one, beginning of the book, she catches her mother having sex with her boyfriend. 2, There's a part in this book where they steal this powder from a fairy, and this one girl convinces her to the whole, hey, I just stole this powder. Hey, let's take it. And the main character goes, oh, why not? Let's just do it. I'm sorry. I am so anti, this is peer pressure. This is stupidity. This is just taking drugs for the sake of taking it. Yes, I get that it gives them all these super, like, they can get into things. But seriously, you gonna promote for children to just say yes to drugs? I'm sorry, I grew up with Dare, with the lion that said just say no to drugs. And with my father being a drug addict, who's sitting in federal prison for it, I am so anti this kind of drug that this book just disappointed me, and I don't know if I want to read anything else by Holly Black. I'm keeping a hold of the whole series to maybe one day I'll go back and finish this book, force myself through it, and read the next one because I really want to know more about those characters, not this stupid bitch. Val, I'm sorry, Valerie, you dumb. End of story. My biggest surprise of the year, I'm going to do 2 books for this one. One is the first one in the Women Are Some Kind of Magic series by Amanda Lovelace, and that's The Princess Saves Herself in this one. This book surprised me in so many ways. I am such a stickler for poetry. Robert Frost has always been my all-time favorite poet. But something about this book, I was just flipping through it, looking at it. I never thought I would like modern poetry. Never thought I would want to pick it up. See if I can get to the page. This is what drew me in. There's parts of the book where she scratches out some of the words, like it's the princess scratched out. I was born a little book mad. I could be found stroking the spines of my books while I sat locked alone inside my tower bedroom. All the while I hoped my books would spill their exquisite words over the lush green carpet so I could collect them one by one and savor them like berries inside my mouth. I read that inside of Target, and the minute I was done, it was in my thing. And to top it off, when I got home, I read the dedication in this book. For the boy who lived, thank you for inspiring me to be the girl who survived. You may have a lightning bolt to show for it, but my body is a lightning storm. Anyone who dedicates their book to Harry Potter is probably God. It's perfection. This girl, her second one's dedicated Katniss Everdeen from Hunger Games. I'm looking forward to figure out who's going to be dedicated the mermaid one. It's probably going to be Ariel, but eh. And the other one to surprise me was one that I originally DNF'd last year because I just couldn't get into it. And then a friend of mine read it and was just like, oh my God, you have to read this. You have to have this. You need this in your life. And that is The Bone Witch by Rin Chabuco. I still need to pick up the sequel, but pretty much this is about a girl who raises her brother from the grave and all hell breaks loose because bone witches aren't seen as good. If you haven't read this, check it out. Go in it blind because you'll just enjoy it that much more. Something about this just, I don't know, pulled me in and I loved it. Just saying. Okay. My new favorite authors, debut and new to me, I'm going to mention 2. One I've already mentioned, and that is Amanda Lovelace. She was new to me this year. This book came out, I want to say 2016. Yeah. There's no thingy at the front. That's weird. I think this one came out last year, but I now want everything Amanda Lovelace has ever wrote and ever will write because just, yeah. And then another one, a debut author that I want to read everything she writes from now on, because this is going to be my top 18 books at the end of the year, and that is The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. Basically, this one's petitioned as Hocus Pocus meets practical magic, and everyone knows, you say that, I'm there. This book blew me away. I was expecting funny, ha ha ha, a little intense here and there. Not one to break my heart and me to read it in one sitting. Listen, I haven't read a book in one sitting since How to Hang a Witch and Haunting the Deep. Listen, this and Amanda Lovelace are the only other two authors that I have read in one sitting. Check it out. That cover's gorgeous. My new fiction, number 8, your newest fictional crush. And I'm sorry, I gotta go with Baz. Baz and Simon Snow. Carry on. Harry Potter-esque fanfic of Harry and Drake. Baz, vampire, sexy as fuck, British. Who needs more? End of story. Move along. My newest favorite character now. This one's probably going to be a little controversial. Not a lot of people like this story, but I related to this character in, I don't know, it's hard to explain why, because his brain works a little bit different than mine, but I connected with Elio from Call Me By Your Name. Gay boy coming to terms with his own sexuality, loves music, art, books, just very intelligent. He's a character that I would love to pull out of this world, sit right there, and we discuss life together. Does that make sense? And that's how I feel like with all my favorite characters. I want to pull them out of this world and we just talk and we have a fascinating conversation. You know? Okay. A book that made you cry. I'm gonna go with 2 books here. First, Outsiders. Watch my video, it'll explain why I cried. And then, More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. Almost dystopian-esque. It's in a world where there's a thing that can take away your memories. Basically, alter your memories, repress them, whatever. But a guy who comes to terms with his, realizes he's gay and he wants to forget about it because he thinks that's the reason why his dad died. Listen, read this book, go in it blind. It'll break and destroy your heart. It's the only Adam Silvera I've read so far. I've got his other 2 books up there that I'm hoping to get to towards the end of this year. But I sat down after this book and bawled probably for 2 hours afterwards. Literally, the only 2 books, besides Amanda Lovelace, to make me cry this year. And when I mean cry, it means I sat down and bawled for hours on end because of both of these books. Just yes. A book that made you happy. Now, I have 2 options for this, one of which a lot of people have already stated, but at the end of the day, this book gave me so much feels that I was just sitting there smiling at the end of it. And that's The Upside of the Unrequited by Becky Albertalli, which is a loosely based It's loosely based on Emma by Jane Austen. Kind of gave me very much Clueless vibes at times. This is about a girl named Molly. Yeah, Molly, who's had how many crushes? Has had 26 crushes, never had a boyfriend. The diversity in this is awesome. It's hard to say. I don't want to give away anything. That spine though, that cover, the shade of blue is my favorite shade of blue. I sat down and stared at I laid down and stared at the ceiling for an hour afterwards, just feeling very happy. I felt like I was going into a deep into one of my depressive modes when I picked up this book, and it just put so much light over me, you know? So there's option 1. And then option 2 is a little weird and out there for me, but Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Allery Sons. This book made me happy in the sense of, at the end of the day, when I finished this book, I was contemplating the secrets of the universe myself, trying to figure out how I could go on a journey to discover the secrets, and I've decided my books are my journey. The secrets of the universe is the secrets how to be happy, how to be who you are, how to accept who you are at the end of the day. I accept who I am, but I'm still having struggles on how to be happy like everyone does. At the end of the day, that's all there is. This book just put that thought in my head, and I've been running with it ever since. And every time I sit down and I feel like I'm getting in that depressive kind of thoughts of, I hate myself, I hate this about me, I hate that, I think of this book, and it just makes me smile, and I'm like, no, I don't hate that. If I dislike that, what can I do to make it better? And that's why I love this book. The more I think about this book, the more it comes into terms in my own head on why I love this book. Definitely a good read. Read it. Number 12. Favorite book to film adaptation you saw this year? Now, I have 2 options for this, and I own them both on DVD, and I am so happy. They were my 2 most anticipated movies of the year. I have now read both the books. I've already talked about one of the books. I already talked about the author of the other book. Now, let's do the first one and get it out of the way, because everyone's going to say this is their answer, and that's Love, Simon, which is one of the cutest, rom-com movies I have seen in, forever, based off of Simon versus Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. If you haven't seen it, see it. Oh my god, I did not expect this movie to make me cry and connect and feel the feels that I didn't even feel when I read the book. I love the book for itself, and I love the movie for itself. Love them both together, too. Just, oh my god. Now, the other one, Call Me By Your Name, was nominated for 4, should have won all 4, in my opinion, because this is now my all-time favorite movie, and it's also one of those few movies that I've went to the movie theaters and saw by myself, and the love between Elio and Oliver just broke my heart, and I found out they're doing a part 2, seeing as the book carries on to them as adults. They're doing a part 2 to discuss that. Just, if you haven't seen this will break your heart. You'll love it. It's a little slow at first because it's all about setting the scene, but just let it get through. Listen, just let it ride on out. Just let it ride on out, girl. Let it ride on out, and you will be bawling at the end. 2 amazing films. And yes, both LGBT. Hey, It's Pride Month. Why not? Okay, question number 13. Favorite review / video you have done so far this year? My favorite review would be the Outsiders review. Yes, I know I keep bringing up that book, but everyone needs to hear about it. Because if you haven't read it, read it. I wish I would have read it in high school. No, never mind, take that back. I wouldn't have connected to it the way I've connected to it now. If I would have read it before certain events that happened to me happened. But it's still my favorite. I'll link the review down below so y'all can understand what it is I loved about it. But hey. Question number 14. Most beautiful book you've bought this year? I have 2 and we've discussed both. Now let's first start with The Wicked Deep by Shea Earnshaw. Before I even take the cover off, that is perfection. And then the perfection even got better and better and better. Like with the cover off, the stars, the moons, it even continues onto the back. You don't see that often. I think this is only for the first edition. Got something on the back. Oops. This book is amazing. Read it. Like, oh my God, read it. It's just gorgeous. And we're gonna display it because it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's one of the best books I've ever owned. And then the last book for that would be Children of Blood and Bone. This cover, not alone, is gorgeous. Take this off. And that is just pretty. Like, seriously. Now, for the last question, question 15. What books do you need to read by the end of this year? All of them. I've got so many books on my shelves that I have not read yet. But I'm hoping to make a good game plan to slowly get read a lot of these books by the end of the year. Now let's fingers crossed that we get to it. And that's all I've got for you guys today for this book tag. So if you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. I want to do a shout out to 2 booktubers and see if they want to do this. I would love to see Read by Liv do this. Liv, I would love to see your answers. And Christina Live's books, I would love to see you do this video. I'll tag y'all down below. Until next time, bye. And remember, reading is what's fundamental.